The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico de Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico de Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
That's right, Nico, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. And I'm Paige Clarke. Good morning.
And it's a beautiful morning in downtown Clearwater, 72 degrees, partly cloudy. We've had a lot of rain this time of year.
Feels humid, though.
It's very humid.
Summer is here.
Yeah.
Still
a little cooler than I think normal.
Yeah, I think we've been hitting it right on the target. Make
Cool.
sure you pick up our Health Signals newsletter. This is news you can use every day to live longer, stronger, healthier, and wealthier.
Yes, and it starts.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah, it starts out with freedom. Freedom is play. That's my definition.
Yeah, we
of
need
freedom.
to learn how to play somewhere.
And we need to have that feeling of freedom through
right.
play.
That's
and
right.
It's a very important thing to do. Also, we want to remind you to pick up some Primal Edge. 310 cell-ready liquid ingredients, so it's easy to take. It's all powered by fulvic and humic acid to get the good stuff in
and the bad stuff out. And we are taking your phone calls if you're up. That's at 877-927-6648.
So, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Nico. I like the subject we're talking about. That was part of the reason that when we were trying to find a flagship product to support our show,
The Primal Edge?
The Primal Edge, we were both of us realized, you can make vitamins, but if you don't have the minerals and the enzymes, you don't have the catalyst to make in our bodies. And because of our soil depletion, we really don't get, regardless of the best diet that we eat, we may not, unless we're sourcing our food right, which we teach you guys how to do that. But let's talk about this great article that's from one of our favorite sources, reputable source, GreenMedInfo.com.
Why 80% of us are deficient in magnesium. Magnesium deficiency is often...
The master mineral.
Yeah, it's misunderstood because it does not show up in blood tests. Only 1% of the body's magnesium is stored in the blood. So most doctors in the laboratory don't even include magnesium status in routine blood tests. Thus, most of the doctors don't know whether their patients are deficient in magnesium, even though studies show that the majority of Americans probably are.
Norm Shealy is a world-renowned doctor who has said that every known illness is associated with a magnesium deficiency, and that it is the most critical mineral for electrical stability of every cell. We talk about that a lot here, folks, the fact that we are electrical beings, and it may be responsible for more diseases than any other nutrient.
Yeah, he states that it exposes a gaping hole in modern medicine that explains a good deal about the types of disease and death that our population goes through.
And what is the first thing usually that happens when you get to an ER?
They hook you up to an IV which has magnesium in it, I believe.
Usually start you with a saline drip and add magnesium. It's really, it's emergency room medicine.
Yep.
So you have to recognize the signs of magnesium thirst or hunger, because since allopathic medicine is kind of lost when it comes to that, that's why a lot of us in the alternative health field really look at mineral sufficiency, and it's a much more subtle signs that's going on. And in a world where doctors and patients alike are not even paying attention to thirst as an important issue of hydration, it is not, it's hopeful that we're going to start recognizing and pay attention to our body's cry for magnesium, because it's a dramatic way of realizing that the body is truly needing this master mineral.
Yeah, a few people really are aware of the enormous role that magnesium plays. It's by far the most important mineral after oxygen, water, and basic food. Magnesium is probably the most important element we need in our body. Vitally important, yet hardly known, in a sense.
Well, it really is more important than calcium, potassium, and sodium, and it regulates all three of these. I think a lot of people don't realize that. We have been sharing the fact that we really have an overload of calcium relative to magnesium, and we don't recommend, supplementing that in excess. So
yeah, so this is probably why that most people are deficient and don't even know it. So
well, it's the yin and the yang,
right,
and the balancers. The antagonist. You as a personal trainer, there's the antagonistic muscles, right? The tricep and the bicep, hamstrings and the,
the
and
opposing
the quads.
muscles.
Yes.
Yeah, and of course we are talking about thirst, and they mentioned thirst here as a sign, but it's a kind of a subtle thirst. It's a thirst that if you just take plain water, it's kind of like if you're a diabetic and plain water won't do it for you, but orange juice does. In this case, it's not the orange juice. We want the calcium and the magnesium combined at the proper rate. So that's why magnesium is much harder to find, and this is why it's in like sports drinks like Gatorade, although not a good form of magnesium.
The electrolytes. Really, what they're doing is they're adding the electrolytes, and usually the magnesium is not sufficient in those. A lot of people are making their own healthier sports drinks that are heavier in magnesium and also potassium. But all those years when, your doctor would say, well, it must just be in your head, you're just all in your head. Those were years that medical professionals were really not really tuning in to what's going on with their patients, I think.
And I think this happens more to women than men. I don't remember often the doctor saying, well, it's all in your head. But for women, it's always been there, kind of that little thing that, we chuckle behind. We say, oh, well, it's that time of month or whatever it is. We always chuckle and say, well, it's, this is one of the emotions that they go through, when we're really talking about something that's really needed in us. And we're talking about that kind of thirst that can't be quenched by water. It has to be the right combination of materials.
So since the allopathic doctors, do not properly test for magnesium sufficiency or deficiency, symptoms continue and root causes are not reached. So let's talk about the symptoms of magnesium deficiency. The first symptom might be subtle. It might be because magnesium is stored in the tissues. You might start having leg cramps, foot pain, or muscle twitches can be a sign. Have you ever been under stress and your eye starts to twitch? That's a real strong.
Yeah, and when those types of things happen, I think most people think of potassium and not magnesium.
Well, they both have some similar symptomology, but let's face it, again, they kind of come together and they balance.
That's the key right
and,
there.
And you remember how I told you I love that one drink that I have shipped to my house called Swear Vive? It's cultured whey.
Okay.
It's loaded with magnesium and potassium, and so I think that's a good. But anyway, so people might see these signs of the twitching and the foot pain, cramps, or you may actually have some appetite deficiency or even fatigue and weakness. So as magnesium deficiency worsens, numbness, tingling, personality changes, abnormal heart rhythms is something that I suspect, and you can actually get heart spasms. So,
well, there's other things like muscle soreness, including back aches, neck pain. Sometimes you feel like you can't.
Every organ of the whole body.
You feel like you can't take that breath. You want to take the breath, and the air is there, but you can't seem to get it.
Or someone who's sighing.
Yeah,
so we're going to get back and talk a little bit more about how these symptoms arise and some things that you can do to rebuild your magnesium sufficiency.
Stick around, folks.
Stay with us.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
We're talking about the master mineral, or magnesium. A comment was made in our chat room. Someone said chronic tiredness and shortness of breath after virtually any form of exertion is an indication and warning sign of iron-poor blood, and that can be true. It can also be a sign of magnesium deficiency, because since we know magnesium is kind of the catalyst or orchestrator that balances out many of the other minerals.
It's kind of like the one ring that rules all the 7 rings.
You actually got it. That's exactly right.
Yep. Okay.
And so, you know, we can go on and on. It's needed by every cell in the body, including those of the brain. It is one of the most important minerals when considering supplementation because of its vital role in hundreds of enzyme reactions. And obviously, folks, if one of the first things they do when you come in for an emergency is get magnesium in your body, what does that tell you?
Yeah, here symptoms or signs of cardiovascular systems include palpitations, heart arrhythmia, and angina due to the spasms of the arteries. High blood pressure, of course, is included in all this.
Well, calcium is a restrictive or constricting. Remember the world of yin and yang and balance. And magnesium is the mineral that says relax.
Okay.
So when we see people that say, I'm feeling anxious, my blood pressure's been up, they might just be magnesium deficient, you know? Yeah. So like water, we need magnesium every day. There is an eternal need for magnesium as well as water, and when magnesium is present in water, life and health are enhanced.
Yeah, and also magnesium is needed not only for production of specific detoxification enzymes, but it's also important for energy production related to the cell detoxification. So this is a really, not only do you need this and your body's craving it, but it starts different functions of your body so we can cleanse ourselves, the detoxification.
Well, I'm going to tell you what's to diagnose. That's what we say in natural health. What's to diagnose? I mean, everyone's put that word. What's to diagnose? Almost, since we know almost everyone is deficient in magnesium, one of the reasons it's not available in the soil. And there's so many people that are not getting good sources of magnesium just because of their busy life.
So we really need to get it from our food.
We sure do. So, you know, I mentioned that, you know, the brain is really heavily affected. A lot of people notice that cloudy thinking, confusion, disorientation, these things can really be implications that magnesium is low. And when we don't have enough magnesium, we'll lose a lot of calcium in the urine. And the lack of this nutrient indirectly becomes responsible for much of the rampant tooth decay. poor bone development and osteoporosis or slow healing. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So if you're not balanced with magnesium, the body pours off, tries to get rid of the extra calcium, which you might see as bone deficiency. So supplement with the magnesium and all the other calciums will stay in place.
It also says here that a form of magnesium helps to reduce and dissolve calcium phosphate kidney stones.
That's exactly correct. The many people that the calcium is going in the wrong place. Remember how we talk about vitamin K2? We want to. It's the fat soluble vitamin that says calcium stay in the bones, don't float around here in the bloodstream and affect the organs. And if we get the K2, the magnesium, they work together to balance the calcium.
Yeah. So there's a good list of early warning signs if you're going to be insufficient in magnesium. So some of those symptoms are physical and mental fatigue, persistent under the eye twitch, you mentioned that earlier, and tension in the upper back, shoulders and neck, headaches, premenstrual fluid retention, and breast tenderness.
Yeah, and these manifestations, they'll show up. People say they have low energy, fatigue, weakness. It goes on and on. I guess what I'm trying to point out here is that so much of our symptomology is when you really start at the top of the food chain and you say mineral deficiency. The master mineral being magnesium.
Yeah, and this is how you can see how we can get on the wrong track. Just if you have a headache, you're going to take an aspirin. I don't think aspirin has any of the magnesium that you need in it.
No. You know, magnesium levels drop at night too, so this can cause poor REM sleeping and affect your sleep. So I really like the idea of using a magnesium cocktail or a magnesium body rub. You know, the
body rub. That's a
well,
good
I've
idea.
got I like the Maggies. I've got my friend who makes a really good one that's scalar energized, but external magnesium, we absorb that very well through our skin.
I take a little supplement before bed, about an hour before bed, and just a little bit of water. So I sprinkle a little, and you have to just put enough, because if you put a little too much, then in the morning your stool is really, really loose. So you have to just figure out exactly how much it is. And
well, depending on whether or not it's carbonate or citrate.
Carbonate.
Yeah. Are you talking about Dr. Minkoff's?
Yeah, Minkoff's.
Yeah. So you do. That is one of the things for some people that works because they need that. You know, it helps them with their.
I think because of the very active lifestyle that I'm doing, I need that extra magnesium for sure.
Sure. So I think that this is something that I thought was really interesting, and I like connecting dots. But we're starting to see that a lot of the symptoms of magnesium deficiency are associated with insulin resistance. And here, listen to this list: signs of severe magnesium deficiency. Listen to these descriptions of symptoms: extreme thirst, extreme hunger, sores or bruises that heal slowly, dry, itchy skin, unexplained weight loss, blurry vision, tiredness, tingling or numbness in the hands or feet, and a frequent or reoccurring gum, bladder, or vaginal yeast infections.
So these are the same symptoms for diabetes, aren't they?
Exactly. These are the same. So how much of our country's symptomology is leading to diagnoses of diabetes, which is the biggest blockbuster earner for the conventional medical? It's also the biggest cost to our healthcare. Diabetes by 2025 will completely bankrupt the healthcare system. But what if we just gave everybody magnesium? What if everybody took the Primal Edge in the morning? Because we added some extra magnesium to that, or wherever you're going to get it, or ate more nuts, or had some other foodstuffs that were rich in magnesium. They were conscious of supplementing it. So many people have diabetes for about 5 years before they show strong symptoms. But this early magnesium deficiency may turn things around.
So actually, it's a precursor. So that means if you're deficient in magnesium, this could start you on the path then to diabetes. Okay,
Absolutely.
I get it. Yep.
And what goes hand in hand with diabetes? Cardiovascular disease. And then what happens? Kidney failure. It's the triad. That triad of disease, diabetes, heart disease, and kidney disease.
And you have all three, and then you've really got a tough life and a tough road to hoe to come back.
That's right, and let's don't beat around the bush. Magnesium deficiency is a predictor of diabetes and heart disease, both. Diabetes both need more magnesium. Diabetics need more magnesium and lose more magnesium than most people. So,
two new studies, both men and women, those who consumed the most magnesium in their diet were less likely to develop type 2 diabetes. Yeah.
And it's a beauty mineral too. You know, magnesium really helps us, you know, feel good, look good. And, you know, one of the things that we talk about when we're talking about diabetes, it's part of the body's response to excessive urination, right? Mm-hmm. The thirst of diabetes. But this excessive urination is the body's attempt to get rid of the extra glucose in the blood. And this extra urination causes this increased thirst, and this creates this disharmony. So let's balance out the minerals. And, you know, it's really rather fascinating. I think you all should get up to date, and we'll share some information in our newsletter. And when we come back, we're going to share a site that might help you learn more about magnesium.
Cool. We'll be right back, folks.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
So magnesium is the fourth most abundant mineral in the body, and it is the reason why vegetables are green. But few people fully appreciate the importance of this miraculous mineral.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's talk about really 7 reasons to get more magnesium, and these are reasons that are evidence-based, and you can find that evidence at great sites like greenmedinfo.com.
Yep.
And you know, it's interesting because it was the Human Genome Project that revealed that 3,700 roughly human proteins have binding sites for magnesium. That's actually quite huge. And so far we know this one essential mineral activates over 350 chemical processes in the body. Like we said in the last segment, magnesium is importante.
Yeah, and it's only stored in your blood at like 1%. So this means you need a steady supply of it. And it's estimated that about 80% of the population, especially here in America, is deficient in this mineral. And probably because we're not eating enough what?
Well,
green vegetables?
Green vegetables, or just animals that eat the green vegetables.
There you know, that's what
really,
I wanted.
Yes, exactly. So here's some of the 7 things that we want to highlight for you to take away. You know, if you have enough magnesium, you can, it's evidence-based to prevent migraines. According to University of Vermont professor of neurology and migraine expert Robert Shapiro, MD, PhD, every year nearly 1 in 5 Americans experience some form of migraine attack. And there's been studies that showed in the study of 133 migraine patients, supplementing with simply 500 milligrams of magnesium for just 12 weeks significantly improved the frequency and severity of migraines. That's what we added to the Primal Edge. So, you know, just one of many things. You know, number 2, Nico?
Yeah, it lowers your heart disease mortality. A study in the journal found that people with low magnesium levels were more than twice as much as likely to die of heart disease. They were also more than 7 times as likely to die from all different causes.
That's right. Magnesium reduces all-cause mortality, and especially to heart disease. Number 3, as we mentioned earlier, is managing diabetes. It is a deficiency common amongst people with type 2 diabetes. So is it the chicken or the egg? Did the magnesium deficiency lead to the diabetes, or is the diabetes, you know, encouraging the magnesium deficiency?
Yeah, it also, you know, when you take magnesium for up to 16 weeks, it significantly improves your fasting blood sugar levels as well as your HDL.
Absolutely, and really, many of these people that have neuropathy, that's one of the classic signs of magnesium.
Is it really?
You know, oh yeah, sure. So many people, you know, especially the neuropathy with coronary heart disease. So another thing is it relieves the symptoms of fibromyalgia or body pains. That makes sense, doesn't it? And a double-blind placebo-controlled study from the University of Texas shows that magnesium malate, a particular form of magnesium, improves pain and tenderness in fibromyalgia patients.
Yeah, and fibromyalgia patients, those are the kind of diseases that are kind of maybe due to diet, lifestyle.
Well, they're mitochondrial diseases.
Yeah.
Like all of these are, really.
Yeah, yeah.
And mitochondrial diseases means that the cells aren't getting the nutrition that they need. And that's not all just from food. It's from light, it's from sound, it's from electricity, magnetism.
Yeah, if nothing is by itself, that's for
sure. And then number 5, lowering risk of colon cancer. There's been epidemiological studies that link low magnesium levels with higher rates of colorectal cancer. We know that form of cancer has seen an increase. And there's been some research in China that analyzed 8 prospective studies, and they were covering, gosh, nearly 400,000 participants. And their results that were published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that the highest average intake of magnesium was associated with an 11% reduction in colorectal cancer compared to the lowest. Well, you know, I just think I like to take the common sense approach regardless of the study and say if you poop more, magnesium makes you poop, move your bowels, you know, you're going to move out toxins.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's my layman's approach to it.
The next thing is building strong bones. Well, this is natural because it works in conjunction with calcium to get the right balance.
Right.
Yeah, and if you don't have that right balance, then you're missing something and the bones just don't get made.
A lot of people may not be eating sugar, but alcohol depletes magnesium too. So we have to really watch, you know, whether even if you're a paleo person, but if you're drinking wine and beer, you know, in excess, this could really start to drain your magnesium.
I'm just thinking of things that you say. Take a look at this little picture on a telestrator. Of course, this is a vegetable, but if you look at microscopically, this could be the inner playings of bones itself.
I get goosebumps. The doctrine of signatures.
Yeah.
The doctrine of signatures really shows you that it looks like a bone matrix, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Clue here, eat me for strong bones. That's exactly right. Because calcium does us, magnesium does assist calcium in building the strong bones, but it does so much more, and it stimulates the hormone calcitonin, and this helps draw the calcium out of the blood and soft tissues and puts it back in the bone along with vitamin K2. And getting more magnesium may mean you need less than the government's recommended 1,200 milligrams of calcium per day. Well, first of all, I don't even pay attention to that. I think we all can, if we eat the foods that we recommend that you eat, you're going to get enough calcium.
Yeah.
And I think it can be dangerous. The new research is showing that supplemental calcium is not in the forms that we need. We need calcium through our greens, because the greens have taken the calcium from the rocks. We don't need to eat rock forms of supplemental calcium.
Right.
We need to get it from our greens.
Yeah, so we're getting it from the soil through the animal that's eating the greens, or we can, of course, supplement ourselves with some greens too.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
And number 7, finally, is reduce the signs of metabolic syndrome. Earlier in the last segment, we talked about the tie-in between magnesium and diabetes.
Right.
Metabolic syndrome being the precursor to the triad of bad diseases: diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease. So how easy is that? Make sure you're getting enough magnesium.
Yeah, the results of all these things were published in the Archives of Medical Research, and after only 4 months, markers of metabolic syndrome were significantly lower in the magnesium group. It just makes a lot of sense. Magnesium also shown to steady your heart rhythm, promotes normal blood pressure, reduces your stroke risks, helps maintain normal muscle and nerve functions.
A lot of people don't realize, yeah, it goes on and on. Pretty much a symptom A to Z.
Yeah.
There's a magnesium assistance for that. You know, magnesium will assist for that, so exactly.
Yeah, and symptoms of magnesium deficiency also include constipation and other digestive problems, low energy, irregularities in menstrual flow, reproductive health, and migraine headaches. Those are the things that we all touched on.
So what is the recommended daily allowance for magnesium? Well, it's 420 milligrams for men or 320 for women, but it's estimated that 80 to 90% of Americans are still magnesium deficient. I don't think our government has really done a great job in the test tube study world of determining these things. I think if we look to our foods and we look to natural supplementation.
And there's one particular food that I'm very, very fond of that you just need a little bit of, and that, of course, is that nice dark chocolate. We'll have that about 176 milligrams of magnesium in it.
I like what it said, Nico. It says, really, the truth is magnesium deficiency is relatively easy to remedy with it. And 176 milligrams of magnesium in a 3 to 5 ounce bar, that might be a lot from a caloric standpoint, but I really like dried seaweeds, your dark leafy vegetables. Think about collards, guys. Collards can be a great supplement for bread because they're real stiff.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you have things like wheatgrass, avocados. They mention here sesame seeds also, and almonds.
I love
Some of
your
the
nuts.
things.
Spirulina and chlorella from the sea.
Yeah.
So
Stick around, folks. We're going to be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back. So magnesium supplements are widely available, of course. They come in many forms, including oxide, citrate, carbonate, aspartate, and lactate.
And I think it's important, Nico, that we go through this because so many people are like, oh my gosh, what form? And I think this
the oxide is the least expensive, but most difficult for the body to absorb.
And don't buy a magnesium oxide unless you want to sit in the toilet all day.
The citrate helps with constipation.
Yep, that's in a good way. The magnesium glycinate is a better choice if you don't want the laxative effect. Some people are highly sensitive to that.
And some people have difficulty absorbing it in an oral supplemental form, too.
Yeah, actually, even a lot of your people that eat a high-fiber diet, they have a hard time absorbing it because it... it kind of slows it down. Or if you happen to be a person who's taking diuretics where you're losing that, or antibiotics, or, God forbid, proton pump inhibitors, which we don't want to take anyways.
Well, let's look at
These
our
were all
supplements.
affected. Yeah, and if you look at the Primal Edge, one of the things that we did is we made sure to get magnesium from plant sources. Remember I said
magnesium from plant source, folate, malate, and citrate.
Yeah, well, those are the three of the most highly...
500 milligrams, which gives 100%. And then the calcium, we have 50%, which is 500 milligrams in plant source, also from those same sources.
Yeah, so we balanced them, whereas many people, we raised the magnesium. For a lot of supplements, they give a 2-to-1. They give twice the calcium to magnesium, and
it's
I didn't
quite
want that.
expensive to put in a good form, the magnesium.
It is, in the forms that we have. And the whole point is that I like to point out to people is the fulvic humic acid makes it 100% available, but I wanted to finish my thought. See, I did not want us to be really adding any supplemental calcium unless it came from plant sources. And I wanted it to be where the magnesium was in a higher ratio because we know that we have more of a magnesium need than these other nutrients. So I think that's important to know.
I agree. So,
but there are a lot of people that don't absorb magnesium orally well at all. And regardless of how you absorb it, the absolute best way to absorb magnesium is topically through the skin. And magnesium chloride is usually, and there's a lot of companies that are producing very highly absorbable forms of magnesium. You can add it to your bath. You can do a foot soak while you're on the computer for 30 minutes.
I see people taking a little Primal Edge and putting it in their bath water.
Exactly. But these topical forms is really the most effective form of magnesium for cellular detoxification and for helping it get into the tissues.
And I think, of course, of soaking into, with your Epsom salts. This is a good way to get magnesium.
That's the magnesium sulfate is what we normally take as an Epsom salt bath, and that's why I really am a big proponent of kicking back and getting in that bathtub with some mag sulfate.
Now you found a site too that is explaining a lot of things about magnesium.
Yes, I am part of a group on Facebook. So if you want to get up to speed real quick on magnesium sufficiency, there's a great group. You have to, ask to join. It's called the Magnesium Advocacy Group. And really, they're teaching a very effective, actually, if you look at the protocol they have, it's really what I've been doing in my practice for a long time and what you and I have been talking about for 8 years here on the show. If you look at lots of this information, but it's called the Root Cause Protocol. I highly suggest you consider going to that Facebook page and joining that group, because you can really get up to speed real quickly on the importance of magnesium. It's such an inexpensive nutrient to add to your diet. We've got it in our Primal Edge, and I think you'll learn a lot. Let's go through this, Nico.
Yeah, I think this is very interesting.
Here's the Root Cause Protocol. These are things you need to stop doing so you can get your minerals in balance, and then there's some things that you want to do that you need to start doing.
Right.
And
so let's start with the stops.
Okay. This is interesting, and I support this. Stop vitamin D only supplements. Supplemental vitamin D kills your liver retinol needed for, this is called it's copper. It's a form of copper, okay? I don't want to mispronounce it, so I apologize. But, and I've never liked vitamin D alone anyways. I like a vitamin D K2, and I prefer you to get the vitamin D from the sun. I understand that people live in certain areas that they can't get the sun, and we do need to find ways to stimulate the vitamin D. I think the best thing is to make sure you plan 2 strategic vacations where you can bask in the sun in the winter. But
down to Florida.
Yeah, let's go on. Stop taking calcium in supplements. Calcium blocks magnesium and iron absorption, particularly when you're taking the rock-based forms, which so many people are in their multivitamins.
Stop the iron supplements also.
Iron shuts down your copper metabolism. So let me just say what you'll learn at this magnesium group is the importance of copper. And do you remember when I told you about that researcher, Lauren Picard? He actually makes skincare copper peptides, but he is a foremost copper researcher. And he believes that the adding of the iron to our supplements is interfering with copper. One of the reasons I added a little higher dose of copper in the Primal Edge. Again, we're trying to get the copper back up. So stop at ascorbic acid. Again, ascorbic acid being the synthetic form of vitamin C, it disrupts the copper bond.
Yeah, also stop high fructose corn syrup, synthetic sugars, any of the substitute types of sugars. And also says stop your low-fat diet. Fat is needed for proper copper absorption.
What I like about this is this magnesium advocacy group is basically a big proponent of copper. See the tool here? Stop using industrialized heart-healthy omega-6 oils such as soybean, corn, and canola. Right, what we've been saying.
Stop using products with fluoride, which is, of course, the water from the tap, and, of course, your toothpaste and other kind of flushes that you can use.
Yeah, stop taking multis and prenatals. They contain the first 4 items above in fluoride. We're talking about your typical over-the-counter multis. And stop using citrate in foods and supplements, such as the product Calm. Oh, they actually called it out. That's the magnesium citrate. So not a form that's they're recommending.
To something else,
and stop using colloidal silver as an antibiotic. It lowers copper status in the body. So
very interesting.
I think that these are things that we need to explore, and I'm always open to new information. So let's start cod liver oil from Nordic Naturals. Or
and that's
Rosita.
Actually the first supplement I ever took. I remember at 8 or 10 years old, my mother every morning giving me that cod liver oil up in northern Canada. Really important in the winter.
I have a relationship with a guy that imports Dropey. Again, we want animal-based vitamin A, and we talked about that last week on the show. That it was called retinol because it supports the eyes. Then to start your magnesium, we're gonna go through this list because this is so important, and because we're going to be getting a break here, but you want to start magnesium supplements to lower your cortisol. Dose 10 milligrams per kilogram or 5 milligrams per pound of body weight. So do your math there. Okay? And be mindful of your cofactors. You need to have B6 and boron and bicarbonate. One of the cool things I love is Dr. Circus teaches us how to make magnesium bicarbonate water. Remember we talked about magnesium and water?
Mm-hmm.
How cool is that?
Yeah. So let's continue this when we come back after the break, and we'll start with that using the whole food.
Yeah, let's finish with, yeah, exactly.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Be right back.
One of the keys to success in anything is the ability to make new distinctions. So what new distinctions are you making to achieve even more success in your life? When it comes to trading and investing, I wanted to become the best of the best, which is why I went on to make new distinctions. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest have been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as the #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 in gold. On Wednesday, May 23rd at 5 p.m., I'm going to share with subscribers one of my newest distinctions, which is how to follow the money and do so in multiple currencies. You see, money has to flow somewhere, and with the world getting smaller and smaller each day, you and I can identify exactly where most of the money in the world is flowing. Sign up for Mastering Probability by coming to the homepage of TFNN.com to begin your 30-day money-back guaranteed trial membership and learn the exact tools that I use to time the markets. And if you can't attend live, don't worry, because the workshop will be archived on your members page for the next 30 days. Sign up today.
The TFNN Memorial Day Tiger Dollar Special has just been announced. For 1 week only, we're doubling the bonuses that we normally give out with any Tiger Dollar purchase. Normally, when you purchase Tiger Dollars, you can receive a 10, 15, or 20% bonus with your purchase, but through Memorial Day only, we've doubled the bonuses to 20, 30, and even 40%. This is one of the best Tiger Dollar sales that we offer, and they only come around a couple times a year, so don't let it pass you by. Tiger Dollars can be used for any TFNN newsletter or service, and they never expire. So whether you're already a subscriber and want to add savings to your monthly or yearly subscription, or you're thinking about signing up for anything in the future, now is a great time to get your Tiger Dollars. For all the details on the Memorial Day Tiger Dollar Special, visit the front page of TFNN.com before this deal ends May 28th.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
And welcome back. So we are starting to tell you what to do.
We're going over the root cause protocol from the Magnesium Advocacy Group. Okay, so, you know, we're still on this starting. We're going to be taking 4 ounces of fresh orange juice with a little 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar and a teaspoon of sea salt. Again, these are the combinations, the synergistic nutrients. Start taking whole food vitamin C. There's companies such as Innate Response or Pure Radiance, 400 to 800 milligrams. I get one through Purium called C by Nature. Fabulous.
Use Mother Nature sources for vitamin B. Take half a teaspoon of bee pollen, great way. It says 1 or 2 tablespoons of rice bran.
And you want to take that away from other foods.
Yeah.
Again, I get a lot of that stuff from Purium. I like their sources.
Yeah, here's a great one, 6 ounces of beef liver weekly. That's
so
what we were just
research
talking about,
shows
right?
exactly that liver is one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, and it's high in copper. It has several of the vitamins that are key for copper production. Please get these as noted above.
Now, you have a great idea for adding liver into your just about any meal, and tell the people about that, because I love it.
I think you find a good, clean source of fresh liver. But the problem I find is that if you go to even Whole Foods or your natural store, they'll say, well, we don't have it here, but it's in the freezer department. And then there's this big block of liver, and so what do? You got to thaw the whole thing, and most people are not going to eat that much.
Right.
I'm going to try and find a source where I can ask them before they freeze it if they cut it, because what you do is you take a piece of the frozen.
This is raw frozen.
Yeah, but
you can cook it too if you want.
Well, you could cook it, but I'm talking about it's in the freezer. Let's just say right now you're stuck with your block of liver. You take it and you got a food grater, like you grate cheese, and so it's frozen.
Right.
And while you're cooking your eggs in the morning, when you're little, you're letting the white cook, but the yellow you want to still be slightly, you just grate the liver. So this is what I do with my grandbabies, and that way they're getting liver in with their eggs. So you're getting
but you're getting it raw, and then you're cooking it with the egg in a sense. Yeah, it sounds like a great idea to me.
So we're going to start using silica. You've heard us talk about diatomaceous earth. We're going to add a little boron. Boron frees up your testosterone, and it's a master mineral for bone building. And we'll be taking the borax baths and talking about that.
And taurine, what is that?
Taurine is an amino acid that we really run low on and helps our livers process copper properly. And we're going to move towards an ancestral diet. Hey, sounds like we've been on the right track.
I think so, yeah.
And iodine. Who's been talking about iodine for a long time? Iodine-rich foods, your seaweeds, your scallops. Cod, eggs, cranberries.
I didn't realize. Well, off the color, you would think they would be rich in that.
So some of the facts that we want you to remember when it comes to considering ceruloplasmin, which is what we're trying to get our bodies to make, it's a form of copper production, is chlorinated water is hard on your copper and magnesium, and so therefore it's hard on this ceruloplasmin, which is what we're trying to make our bodies use more of, that's made in the liver. Really get one of those chlorine balls. If you take a bath, you hang it over the tub, and then it filters and it gets the chlorine out. And high-dose zinc supplements block copper absorption, which reduces the ceruloplasmin production. I love zinc, and zinc and copper need to be in balance. However, the benefits of copper for health have been greatly underestimated.
Yeah, they really mentioned that a lot in this.
And so molybdenum is known to chelate copper and block the ceruloplasmin production. That was interesting because I've been trying to get some help with this because I did a hair mineral analysis test, and it came back that I didn't have any molybdenum in my hair. So that tells me that my body's holding on to whatever I have. In other words, I don't have an excess.
You're right.
It's not spilling out. So what am I doing? It's known to chelate copper and block this other thing. I have to find out what that might indicate, putting together clues there.
Yeah.
Maybe it means that I was using a lot of it to keep, maybe I had too much copper.
That's possible.
Well, it's really interesting. I have no gray hair. I mean, I really don't, guys. Underneath there, I'm blonde. I don't have any gray hair at this age, and high copper content. Maybe I had a copper IED for years. So I tried to put together the clues, and that's interesting.
Okay. Well, thanks for sticking around, folks. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
See you Thursday.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.